Hey good people, it's been a while since I made a video and there's a very good reason for that. Those of you who've been following my channel will know that I recently moved from the US to the UK, back to where I was born and raised, after quite a few decades in the US actually. And the big surprise when I got here was that the pet removal company, the pet transit company, messed up the paperwork and my dog got put in quarantine, which was quite annoying and a bit of a crisis, family crisis, because we're all really attached to that dog. Well, he finally came home to his new home, and that's why I haven't been posting any videos. I have been walking, running, playing, spending a lot of time with that dog. And he just loves it here. He's you've probably seen him on some of the videos. He sneaks in on camera sometimes. He's a big, fluffy crossbreed between a border collie and a Pyrenees mountain dog. And Colorado was too hot for him most of the year, so he likes it here. He likes the rain. He likes the mud. He likes the cooler climate, even though England has been very temperate this year and still is. This late in the year. So that's been the joyous reunion that's kept me from making videos for the last week or so. So I thought to make an update video. I'm also still waiting for my shipment from the US, which includes all my tools, all my guitars, all my cellos, all my instruments. So I have very little to work with when it comes to doing anything related to this channel. And that's the way it's been for a couple of months. So we're having to do with these sort of in-between makeshift videos. One thing that I have been doing is starting to replace some stuff that I sold. And I was wondering, since you're all musically inclined, how many of you could help me with this. So I decided to just sell all my electronic gear and not deal with converters from 120 volt to 240 volt. I just got rid of everything. That included amps, stereo gear, anything electronic, except for a few pedals that I kept, and my computers, which are dual voltage, so you can use them with either UK or US. So I'm starting to replace it. And one thing that I really want to treat myself to, because I got rid of so much gear over the last 2 years, is a nice stereo system. The house I'm in is kind of small, so it's not going to be anything huge. And right now I'm thinking of one of those really nice, well-rated Denon, M41 decks with a built-in CD player, and then a nice pair of bookshelves. I'm thinking of the Wharfdale 9.1s, the Q Acoustics 3000i look pretty good. The Denons that came with the original D41, or is it R41? I can't remember. Unit look pretty good as well. So yeah, and I'll probably get some stands, put the speakers on it, and then add, when my stuff comes, I'll add a turntable later. And I've been looking at various turntables. I sold a Techniques deck because it wasn't dual voltage, and I sold another one which was a DJ deck, a pretty nice one too. So I owe myself a decent record player. If I wanted to go the cheap route, probably the cheapest I would be comfortable with is an Audio Technica, maybe the RP 120 or the 60 with the USB. They got one with USB now. That's about 150 pounds, 200 pounds, maybe cheaper for the 60. I'd like to get a Rega or a project or something like that, but those are getting up more to 200-300 pounds. So yeah, I'll probably wait till my records come to do that. But I figured there's some of you that are probably audiophiles in the mix here. So you know, for a cheap sub 500 pound, let's say, well, the dollar and pound is neck and neck these days because of the conversion rate, pounds in the toilet, which is good for me. But let's say sub 500 system, nothing big. I don't think I want floor standing speakers. My front room is really small. Something USB-able, because I do sometimes play playlists from a computer source. And my son and wife use Spotify, even though I don't generally use it. They use it. So something with USB application, and then something with a CD. Well, if I get the Denon, it'll have the CD built in. And then I will add a deck and some speakers. I was originally going to go with one of those all-in-one decks, all-in-one mini hi-fi systems. The two that I'd singled out was a Philips, which was USB. I think it's about 300 pounds. Then there's a Panasonic. There are many Panasonics, but there's one, I think the model number ended with a 92. That is USB, 120 watts. That's 60 watts a channel. 3-way speakers. It looked pretty decent, but I read a lot of reviews on Amazon, and I found that a few people thought that you got slightly better quality if you just bought the amp and then speakers separately. If you got a pair of the kinds of speakers I was talking about in the beginning of this video, and put it with an amp rather than buying one of those all-in-one things. And there were just some negative reviews on both that just put me off taking the plunge. Even though it's cheap, I could get an all-in-one system between $300 and $350, either one of those, and then just add a record player later. But I decided to buy separate components, buy a amplifier, probably with a built-in CD player, because I am an old-fashioned Git, and I do like my media. I still have tons of CDs, and I like listening to albums sometimes, and I like getting away from playlists, digitized playlists, and just listening to a good old album once in a while. So I do want a CD player, and I do want a record player as well. I definitely won't get one of those all-in-one systems with the record player built in, because I've had those before and they're usually junk. I want to get something decent this time that has a good sound stage and sounds good with nice balanced sound with good speaker placement and all that, and something that doesn't blow the doors off, but is powerful enough to have a good all-round sound that you can listen to from another room in the house, if you know what I mean. Some of you will be experts on this and know a lot more than I do. So I welcome your comments. So I'm sort of fishing here for information on relatively cheap, because I know this can go up to the tens of thousands. I mean, the audiophiles, serious audiophiles, they don't bat an eye at spending $5,000 on an amp, or $8,000 on a speaker set. I'm not in that position right now. However, I think if you're prudent, you can get a pretty decent system. I'm not looking for something to blow the doors off of every house in the neighborhood. I'm looking for something that sounds good at low volume, so that you're not disturbing the neighbors. But something that doesn't sound tinny. I do like bass, but I like bass that's focused. I don't like it muddy to where it drowns out the highs and the mids. So more of a balanced sound. Doesn't necessarily have to be powerful. I've seen 50, 60 watt systems that sound great and have plenty of power. So it's more about quality within my budget than getting the boomiest thing available. So if any of you have any suggestions in that area, I welcome that. You'll see that I'm in my little office here. There's nothing here yet. I've got shelves. I got a new workbench that I put up. You can see it. That's the new workbench. I will get a rubber pad, and many guitars will get set up here. I've got some shelving, which the camera is sitting on. It's pretty bare bones other than that, but it doesn't need to be anything more than this. It's got power, it's got lighting, it's got shelving, and it's got a desk. And it's contained, it's not out in the open. I could put a space heater in here if need be. It's got a window looking out onto a beech tree and a lot of grass. So yeah, it'll suffice. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. Mostly playing with my dog, enjoying having him back, just roaming all over my neighborhood, exploring. I've been to a couple of music stores in my local town. I've got to get over to Bristol and check some. There's a lot more there I haven't got to yet, but I will do reports on those as it comes up. But basically, I'm waiting for my stuff. I should be hearing from the shipping company sometime this week with a delivery, delivery information. So hopefully it's not going to be that much longer, and then I can start working on guitars again. So all right, folks, just thought I owed you an update. If you care, if you don't, you watch it anyway. So thanks. All right, as always, as I always say every video, like, and what do they say? Bash that subscribe button, punch it, smash it, pulverize it. I don't know. If you like my stuff, and the guitar stuff will come back. I know I had one person that was upset, but it will come back. Just give me time to get set up here, and it'll flow again. So thanks of those of you that have stayed with me and have sent me messages of support. I'm really encouraged by the little community that tends to hang around this channel. It's one of the best things about my YouTube experience is I tend to be slightly fatalistic and pessimistic maybe about people, but this channel has proved me wrong. I've had nothing but really wonderful people write some just amazing and encouraging things, and it's been a difficult period, so I've needed and have enjoyed that encouragement, and I do thank people that take the time to send it on. All right, folks, hopefully we'll have more content soon. I will try to be a little bit more current with the video upgrades and start getting some instrument content in here as soon as possible. All right, folks, see you soon.